You've just come back to Australia after another big year in Europe and had the Com Games this year as well. Any highlights?
Oh, the Commonwealth Games was the highlight of the year, obviously. I mean, how often do you get to compete against, in front of 90,000 people that are all cheering for you? It was unbelievable, and unfortunately the 1500 didn't go as planned, and a lot of people ask me whether I'm happy to talk about it and whatnot, but shit happens, doesn't it? Excuse my language, but that's the way things happen, out of my control. But the year's been fantastic. I've had some great results. I've had some mediocre ones, as you always do. But I was able to push on, dig my heels in and fight on, and I finished the year with a fantastic win at the World Cup, which was probably one of the biggest wins I've had in my career, and come home a happy man.
Go for it. I was there that night in Melbourne. You had your fall. How do you recover from something like that? Do you have any sort of tactics to get over moments like that?
No, it's something you never plan on anything like that happening, and you hope that it never does, and touch wood, it doesn't happen to me again. But that's racing and that's sport, and you fall and you just got to pick yourself up and get back up again, excuse the pun. But it's, it was unlucky, and it hurt at the time, not physically or anything like that, just mentally, because I really wanted to win, and I really wanted to win the 5K, and I didn't get that. I had a great race, and I thought the 1500 was a real chance to win. It was an event that was open for somebody that was prepared to stand up and take the opportunity, and I thought I was that man, but it was taken away, and you got to move on. If you want the honest to God truth, I went out, got pissed, and at the last lap that night, and had a good time, and I got over it. I got up the next day. I had my granny's 80th birthday, and that had to go back down to Geelong and do normal things. Life doesn't change, and although that happened in front of however many thousand people and the whole world saw it and my ass was on the front page of every paper, I still had to get up the next day and go for a 95-minute run. And I had a great day with my granny. She turned 80. My family was there. My friends were there. They all flew out from England, and you move on.
And you had a hangover too?
A shocking one, yeah. I hadn't been to bed, and then I flew to Japan the next day.
Now, speaking of moving on, next year, World Champs.
Yep.
Year after that is the major one. We've got Beijing.
Yep.
Are you looking that far ahead at this stage?
Oh yeah, everybody's looking that far ahead, but there are a lot of other little stepping stones along the way. I'm having a break now. I've got to get through the break and then get back into training without getting any setbacks. That's the first thing. And then get ready for the World Championships in Osaka, which are in August in 2007. And I was third in Helsinki last year, and I want to try and win it there. And I got as good a chance as anybody to go there and win, and that's the priority. And if I win there, or if I get a medal there, or provided I perform well there and everything's gone smooth, then you start thinking about the Olympics in Beijing.
Of your rivals around the world, who do you most look forward to competing against these days?
Look, I love racing against the Africans, obviously, because they seem to be the best in the world. Bekele, I like the challenge of racing against him. To be honest, I've beaten him once, and that was a huge buzz. And most other times I've raced him, he's sort of beaten me pretty clearly. But I really like running against the Kenyans. They're very friendly guys, and I see a lot of them in London when I train, and they now see me as somebody that can actually race with them. So they let me know, I suppose, before the start what's happening, who's taking the pace and things, and it's more relaxed and it's more enjoyable, and we put on a good show, and when I beat them, it's even better. But I really enjoy. I don't really care who I race against. I just enjoy racing. I enjoy seeing how well I can do in situations of high tension, of high stress and pressure, and testing myself to see how I react in those situations. And so far, I've stood up all right.
Is there a place in the world, be it a venue, a particular event that's most inspiring to you as an athlete?
The MCG. Unbelievable. When the Commonwealth Games are on there, I kid you not, it's the best stadium I've ever run in. It'll be the best stadium I'll ever in my life get a chance to run in. And I'll tell you a story. After the 5K, there was 90,000 people in there all screaming their heads off for me, and it was unbelievable. The atmosphere, I've had people come up and say it was louder then than it was when the AFL Grand Final, they blow the siren to start the game. It was huge. And 15 minutes after that, I was drug tested, and they have to have a chaperone that stays with you, that sees you, so that they just got to see everything you go. And I had to warm down because I had the 1500 on, and I said to my coach, look, can I warm down inside the MCG? So he made a phone call, and the boss, the guy that was overseeing the ground, said, yeah, we'll leave the lights on, we'll shut the venue down, and it's Mottram's for an hour. So I had the MCG to myself for an hour. So I ran around on the infield of the MCG with my coach, just the two of us, not a soul in there, nobody. And that was on about 11:30 at night, the night of my 5K, after I'd had my medal presentation and everything. And I went from having the roof being lifted off the joint, it's been dead silent, and just my coach and I talking about what had just happened and what was going to happen in we weren't talking about falling over.
I was
We,
gonna say,
we were talking about how I was going to go and try and win.
well, after all that, it's no wonder you fell over, really.
Shut up. But that was probably the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me in my career, and that's the most amazing stadium without a doubt.